So we just pulled into the Alexander County Health Department, so wish us luck. We're going to go in and try to get our permit. Okay, so strike one, wrong building, but we got the address for the environmental health, so we'll take another shot. Environmental Health Department, take two. On my way to the lot, it's the day after we made the visit to the Environmental Health Department, which seemed to go pretty well. We were able to complete the application process, and for a 3-bedroom home, the application cost us $300. So from this point forward, this morning I have to give the environmental specialist a call and set up an appointment for him to come out and flag the area where he wants the test holes dug based on my plot plan that I gave him for where I want the drain field. So we'll see how that goes, but for the most part the process was pretty simple. I filled out an application. I had to give them a copy of the deed to prove that we owned the land, and I had to give them a site plan where we're going to put the buildings, the driveway, and all that good stuff. So, and where we want the proposed drain field to be. So we'll see what he says with all that paperwork, and hopefully we can get a test result. But basically he'll come out and flag the spots where he wants the holes dug, and then I'll go back to the county, and for a $100 deposit that's fully refundable, I can rent their whole auger, go dig the holes, and then let him know that the holes are dug, and he can come back out and do some soil sampling and let us know what type of system we want. So kind of a big deal, because when you talk a conventional system, from what I've heard, prices range anywhere between $7,000 to $10,000. If the soil results come back negative and we have to put a specialized system in, those can run anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000. So fingers crossed, hopefully the results come back good and we won't have to have a specialized system. The other thing that we had to do yesterday was go out and finish flagging the buildings, porches, driveway, and all of the structures on the lot. So that's one of the criteria for him to come out and do the inspection. All your buildings, future buildings, if you're gonna have pools, any of that stuff has to be flagged out, and the property corners have to be marked, which we had done that a while ago during the due diligence period when we were purchasing the property. So the flags are still up for that, so we should be good to go. I'm going to do a little bit of mowing today just in case he wants to go a little further out for the drain field, so we have some more options for good dirt if that's the case. So we'll see how that goes, but I'll be sure to check in with you guys a little later on today and tell you what the plan is, and maybe get you some video of the Mahindra cutting down brush. So we'll talk to you guys hopefully in a little bit. So what you're going to see here is my Grapple bucket alternative that's much more affordable. I got a set of pallet forks here that I've been using to pick up all the trees that were felled during the logging process and just left to rot. So it makes it kind of tough when you're bush hogging to not hit those things. So I typically mow up to them and then use my pallet forks to pick them up and take them over to the burn pile. So you're talking for this tractor $500 for the pallet forks versus a Grapple bucket, which takes a third function on your loader. So you have wiring, remote, and hydraulics. You're talking almost $3,000. So to save $2,500, yeah, I'll deal with a little bit of messing around here to get these trees over. It takes a couple extra minutes, where if you would have had a Grapple bucket, you could just go in, pick it up, and take it. But I do have a budget, and as of right now, that money is better spent going towards the build. So maybe later on I'll invest in one, but for right now, these pallet forks seem to be doing the trick. I've also used them to pop out some small trees too that my mower just I don't want to tear it up, so I'll pop them out with the forks, some of the smaller sapling or some of the bigger saplings. But kind of struggled here a little bit. The one of the trees snapped in half because it was rotted, so it kind of made things a little more difficult. But it ended up breaking in two, and then I come back to get it later. But my tractor's a Mahindra 2638. It's a 38 horse four-wheel drive tractor, and I'm mowing with a 5-foot standard duty rotary cutter on the back. But the tractor's really come in handy. I couldn't do it without having some kind of piece of equipment, so it was well worth the money spent for this project. So, and these forks are going to come in handy later in the build. So it was, I think, for $500, it was well worth the money to get those. So the trick is, when you pick these longer trees up, is to try to find the balancing point with them, and then you can kind of bounce it around to get it to where you need it. But yeah, no doubt the grapple bucket would be much nicer, but like I said, I just, budget wise, this works good for me for now. When we go to do the rest of the acreage, maybe at that time we'll do it. But so next week, I did set up the appointment with the environmental health gentleman to come out and do the soil analysis. So it's going to be my first time at running a mini excavator, so we have to dig holes instead of using the boring unit that they have. So it's going to be interesting, so stay tuned for that, because I'm sure there's going to be some fun in that video. So we'll talk to you guys next week.